Happy trails to you. It's great to say hello and to share with you the joy I've come to know.
About the spirit of Jezebel, and in 1 Kings 21, this gives us a good idea of how the spirit of Jezebel works and how to defeat it. We want to learn about the characteristics. It came to pass in the first verse that in those days Naboth had a vineyard which was in Jezreel and was by the palace of Ahab the king, and that was Jezebel's husband. Ahab spoken to Naboth saying, "Give me your vineyard," but Naboth said, "I don't want to give it to you because it's been in my family. It's been in my family for years." And he says, I don't want to sell it to you. Well, so Ahab goes home and goes back to the palace, he's all depressed. So Jezebel says, "Aren't you the king? Just take the vineyard." That's what she does, and that's what the spirit of Jezebel does. But just take the vineyard. And he, of course, he didn't want to do that. And she said, "Okay, I'll get it for you." So in verse 8, she wrote letters in Ahab's name, her husband, sealed them with his seal, sent the letters to the elders and the nobles who were in the city dwelling with Naboth, that was the guy on the vineyard. She wrote in the letters, "Proclaim a fast, set Naboth on high among the people." In other words, a place of honor. See, Jezebel set you up to wipe you out. And verse 10, she set 2 men, sons of Belial, that means worthless, before him to bear witness against him. The honor didn't turn against him at this party, saying, "You did blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die." And the men of the city, even the elders and nobles who were the inhabitants in the city, did as Jezebel said. See, she's always looking for an Ahab. She's always looking for weak-willed people to carry out her plan and her evil. And this can be a man too. We're not putting all this on the women. This spirit can operate through men. And I've seen that happen a number of times too. And as it is written in the letters which she said, so they proclaimed a fast, and that's a false fast if there ever was one, set Naboth on high among the people. There came 2 men, children of Belial, and set before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth in the presence of the people, saying, "Naboth did blaspheme God and the king." So blasphemy, was a capital punishment, death. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, "Naboth is stoned and is dead." And it came to pass when Jezebel heard this Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, "Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give you for money. For Naboth is not alive but dead." And it came to pass when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, he arose up to go down to the vineyard. But then he met Elijah, and Elijah gave the word of the Lord. And so Elijah had this word from the Lord, and the Lord told him in verse 19 to tell him, "Thus saith the Lord, have you killed and taken possession? And you shall speak and say to him, Thus says the Lord, in the place where the dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick your blood, even yours." And Ahab said to Elijah, "Have you found me, O my enemy?" And he answered, "I have found you, because you have sold yourself to work evil in the sight of the Lord." See, if you go along with the spirit of Jezebel, you're going to be held just as responsible as Jezebel. And verse 21, "Behold, I will bring evil upon you, and will take away your posterity, will cut off from Ahab him who urinates against the wall, and him who is shut up and left in Israel. And I will make your house like the house of Jeroboam," that was another sinner. And notice verse 23, "And of Jezebel also spoke the Lord."